Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Keith with Craps TX. Thank you as always for tuning in. And as always, if you don't mind, before we get started, hit that thumbs up for us. Please subscribe if you haven't yet and hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when we put out another video. And thank you so much for everybody that's done that thus far. We're somewhere in the mid 300s, and honestly, anything over 50 subscribers was just a bonus for us. So we really appreciate it, and that thumbs up does help. Some of our videos have been pushed out and we've gotten some really good views on some of them. Maybe it's because of the content, maybe it's because of the algorithm. I don't know. Either way, that thumbs up really helps. So appreciate it, you guys and gals. So today what we're going to do is a bit of a cold table strategy. Say you walk into a casino with buy-in for 1,000, and then all of a sudden you find yourself down to 500 or 400 or 300. Well, you either walk away from the table or, try to stop the bleeding a little bit, slow things down. So this is a cold table strategy. I saw this on Crappy the Crapsman's channel. There's his banner. Awesome name, by the way, and I've used a couple of his strategies before, and I think I've said that also before. Awesome name for a channel, Crappy the Crapsman. So he's got several versions of this cold table strategy. What it is, and you can play it at any level, 50 cent level on a bubble craps machine, $1, $5, $10, 15, 20, 25, 50, 100, 500, you get the idea. The rule is, or the guideline, I guess you could say, you're only using 4 units per shooter. No more. You don't dip into anything extra you got. That's why I've got 5 shooters set up here with exactly what I need. I'm not going to spend any more than that. I'm not going to dip into these if I run out of money on this first shooter. So it's fairly simple. You start out with a don't pass, and then after that, or if you make it past the point, you play 2 come bets, and then you go to the DC. So we'll play it out. It's easier to see than it is to explain. So, and then as we go along, I'll try to explain as well. Now, there are other instances, and he's made some variations, like I said, where instead of having 2 come bets up here working in a DC and you don't pass, he may have 1 come bet and 2 DCs. It just kind of depends on the situation. So we'll see if we get into one of those situations or not. I have 300 set up over here. I've got 5 shooters set up at $60. It's not necessarily optimal. I mean, he did one of them where he just started out with 3 shooters worth. So, but we'll check it out. So that's why I've got all red chips over here in the dealer bank as well, because we're just going to be paying in red chips, just to kind of keep the momentum going. So first of all, let's go ahead and set up our 4 shooters. Now, what he does, like I said, 1 on the don't pass. That's $15. I'm at a $15 table, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I will do a $25 version as well. And he takes his other 3 shooters. Just pretend this is your rack. So he sets those up in his rack, and that's all he's going to use for that shooter. So we got the red dice to match the red chips. So maybe we get some red hot action going here. All right, so let's go ahead and roll it out. We're looking for a point. You can be the shooter. You can play this when you're not the shooter. Obviously if there's just a, and we've all been there. And I've only been playing craps for a short time, but I've been there where it seems like shooter after shooter after shooter, either PSO or, hits the point and maybe another number, and then 3rd or 4th roll they're 7ing out. So this is to kind of slow that down and maybe make a little bit off of it, kind of grow your bankroll back up a little bit. All right, so there's a hard 8. All right, so that is going to be our point. Not necessarily the best number for the point for this strategy, but we'll just play it out and you will see how it works. Okay, so our first bet goes up to the come bet, or come area. All right, we've got a 5, 4, 1, 5. So that is going to travel over here to the 5. Move that out of the way. And then we place 1 more come bet. And see, like right now, if we happen to get a 7, or big red, I guess I shouldn't have said 7, but we'd lose this, but we'd win here and we'd win here. So just kind of trying to show you the scenario before it plays out, but you'll see it eventually. All right, we have 4, 2, 6. The 6 is going to be our next come bet, and then now we're going to go to the DC. I know some people's DC is over here, but mine for some reason is next to the come bet. So going to the DC now. So right now we're kind of vulnerable here, but yeah, let's just see what we get. All right, we have 4, 2, 6. Okay, so that's not horrible. That actually works out fairly well. This is going to travel behind the 6. This will travel down to the come. It'll get paid. and then we've got a 5th unit. So we can play with the winnings. You can play with just the 4 units and keep that off to the side. It's however you want to do it, however you feel. He ended up playing with the winnings, you know, until Big Red came. All right, so now we have a 4-1-5. That is also going to work out. All right, so this would travel up here, this would travel down and get paid. So that is just off and on. Those will just move or not move and stay there. So there's one more unit of 15. Nice out. A 6-5 yo, that is also good. That yo gets paid in the come. This is just like the pass line. You get paid on the 7 and 11. You lose on the 2, 3, and 12. So there's one more unit. Nice out. And a 6-2-8. Okay, so now you can see where there's a little bit of chink in the armor here. So 8 is our point. We hit that, puck goes off. We lose the don't pass on the point, okay? Now, we can either, since the puck is off, we can set a don't pass again, and this is actually going to travel to the 8 as well. So I forgot to move that up. That went from the come up to the 8. So we can play the don't pass again or ride it out like this. Again, he did it a couple different ways, but we'll go ahead and go back on the don't pass. That way we got 4 units. You always want to try to have at least 4 units in action. All right, dice are out. And a 6-1-7. Okay, so that hurts us a little bit. Well, yeah. Okay, so these are always working too, by the way. Your don't come and your come bets. So with the 7, we lose on the don't pass on the come out. We lose our 8, we lose our 5, but we get paid on the DC here. So we got 2 units on that one. Okay, so even though that was a come out, that's a 7. We'll just consider that is 1 shooter, or we can actually still play. I mean, it would still be the same shooter. It was a come out roll. So let's, you could either pass the dice if you wanted to, or, you know, you can play again just on the same shooters. We do have 4 units, so let's just go back to the don't pass since the point was not set yet. Okay, and we got a 3 craps. That is good. So we kind of make a little bit back. You get paid on the don't pass on the 3 craps. A 2 and a 3 pay you. A 12 is a push. You lose on the 7 and 11. All right, dice out. There is an 8. All right, so we're back on the 8 for the point. And we'll move one of these up here to the come for a come bet. And a 6-2-8. Okay, so again, we're going to get knocked off our don't pass. Puck will go off. This travels to the 8. We lose this. But puck is off, so we can go back to the don't pass. There's versions, I think, where he plays the pass line just before anybody asks any questions. You know, why don't you switch over to the pass line? Well, it's more of a don't strategy to start out with, so that's why. All right, so 6 is the point. That's our new point. We have 1 come bet place. We need another one. We'll go up there with that. And 6-2-8. Okay, so that works. So this would travel up here, this would come down here and get paid, so that's just off and on. There's our 15 for the 8. Dice out. 2 craps, okay, that is going to hurt us. We're going to lose our come bet, so it's like easy come, easy go. As you can see, this kind of is a slow grind, but it buys you time, you know, lets you kind of recoup a little bit. Hopefully we'll end up in the profit on these, but we'll see. You got to play it out first. 4-2-6. All right, so that is not good. Again, we're going to lose our point, or 6 is our point. I'm sorry. This will travel to the 6. Point was hit, but this will travel to the 6, and we lose our don't pass for hitting the point. All right, so we have 2 come bets, and we can go back on the don't pass. The puck is off, and dice are out. So you just got to play with what you have. We only have 3 units left, so that's it. All right, so now we're looking for a 6 and 8 would really help. Well, I'm not going to get there. All right, so Big Red comes out. We're going to lose the 6. We're going to lose the 8. We will win down there on the don't pass. Puck will go off, and that is it for shooter number 1. So you can see we're down 2 units. Well, why didn't you stop when you were up, Keith? Well, this is just the way that it goes. You just keep going. You can stop and just, you know, wait that shooter out. All right, so we'll go on to shooter number 2 and get set up with our 4 units. We'll go on to the don't pass and then set up our 3 units on our rack. Again, this is the imaginary rack back there. I'm not playing odds or anything like that. Puck is off. We'll get us a new set of dice. And we'll just take those. Okay. Looking for a point. 4-1-5. 5 will be the point. I'll try to speed it up a little bit here. Hopefully you can keep up, or you're tracking along so far. There is our first come bet. There is a 6-2-8 that'll travel to the 8. One more come bet. What was a roller there? Okay, and we have a 4-3-7. Okay, so this is a better scenario. So that's a 7 out. We're going to lose on the 8. We're going to win right there on the come, and then we're going to win on the don't pass. So for this shooter, we are up 1 unit, as you can see. So 7 out, that shooter is over. So we have 5 units now on that shooter. All right, so we'll go on to shooter number 3. Again, we'll get set up. All right, and another set of dice. Puck is off. And coming out looking for a point. All right, we have a 6-5 yo. That does not help. We lose on the 11 on the don't pass. All right, we move our next one up. And another 6-5 yo back to back. Okay, so you can see where you can get hit kind of hard on this as well. No strategy is perfect. It's all the luck of the dice. You just try to hope the dice work in your favor. All right, so 4 is going to be our point. All right, we have a don't pass. We'll move this last one up here to the come. See what we get here. Okay, that is the best scenario possible. All right, we have a 7. That is going to pay us right there because that's like the pass line. And then the don't pass is going to pay us 7. So for this shooter, we broke even, 4 units. So you see where it kind of comes back around to help you out sometimes. Not that breaking even was a help, but it's better than losing, right? Better than a stick in the eye, as the old saying goes. And yes, I'm old. All right, we'll just use that there, and we'll get on shooter number 4 here. Looking for a point. 5-2-7, that is not a point, so we're gonna lose that. It'd be nice if we could get all 4 units up there, you know, for a change. Nice out. We have a 6-4-10. 10 will be the point. We'll move up 1 for the comeback. And a 5-3-8. Now here you have a choice. Since we only have 3 units, and we have 1 in the come, 1 in the don't, you can either play that as a come bet or you can play it as a don't. I'm going to choose to play it as a don't. If we run into the situation, excuse me while I learn to speak. If we run into this situation again, I'll try it the other way and play it on the come. But for now, I'm going to try the DC. All right, we have a 5-3-8. Okay, so that worked out okay on this one for now. That'll travel behind the 8. That'll travel down to the come and get paid. All right, so we're now back to 4 units. Leave that one there. We're looking to set that come bet. All right, and we have a hard 10. Well, easy come, easy go. Okay, so that's going to travel the 10. Point goes off. That was point hit, so we lose our don't pass. All right, so we'll travel that one, or put that one up to the don't pass. We only have 3 units in play right now. All right, 2 craps. Well, that is a good scenario because we win on the 2 on the don't pass. 2-3, and a 12 is a push, so we're back to 4 units. So you see where this kind of buys you time, and hopefully if they rate you correctly, you know, you get a decent rating as well. 9 will be our new point. Put that there. We have a don't, and a come bet. Now you can go either way here as well too. He always says he wants 2 come bets working, but that's usually in the beginning. I did see a couple of his rolls where he went for a DC on this last roll. So let's go with that. Let's try that. Okay, so we're kind of vulnerable right here, but we'll see how it works. You can hedge if you want. You could play a yo. There is a 6-2-8. Okay, so that is going to knock off that don't right there, and that'll replace it. And so now we're down to 3 units, and we just got to roll it out. We don't play any more of that money that we have over there. You start with 4 units, and you stick with the 4 units. Okay, so we rolled an 8. So again, that's not good. We're going to lose that. So we're just down to our 10 and our don't. So we really need a 10. 10 would help. And there we go. 6-4-10. Ask and you shall receive, if it was only that easy. So I'll travel down to the come, that'll get paid, and we now have a 3rd unit. 4-3-7. All right, so that is the best possible scenario in that case. We're going to get paid on that come right there. We're going to get paid on the don't pass, and we end up this shooter with 5 units. So you can see it can turn back around pretty quick into your favor. All right, so that is our 4th shooter. We're going to go on to shooter number 5. If we have time, we'll go past a little, more than 5. I'll just recycle some of the winnings over there, and we'll go on to a few more shooters. We're at, what, 15 minutes right now? So yeah, we'll try to get it to around 25 minutes or so. All right, so we got our don't pass. We're looking for a come out point, and we have a 6 to 8. Man, we're hitting a lot of 8s on that. All right, we're gonna move our next one up to the come. Looking for 2 come bets to start out. There is a 2x4 6. That'll be our first one. And the second one is also a 6, hard 6. Okay, so that works. That'll travel up, that'll travel down to get paid. Off and on, 1 and 1, however you want to call it. Now at 5 units, there is another 6. Okay, we'll just stay on that then. Travel down, travel up, get paid. We're at 6 units. And there is a 7 out. Okay, so we lose this. We're going to win there. And we're going to win there. So that is like the best scenario. Yes, you can lose all your chips on one of these rolls like that. But as you see, we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units on that shooter. So if we want to get a quick count, we can. That is filling that rack up. Okay, so that was 105 right there. So there's 105, we know that much. Well, let's do this in increments of 5. That would be a lot better, wouldn't it? 5, 10, 15, there's 75, 100. Well, we'll keep the stack in order. $200. Okay. So we got 100, 200, 300, 325, 35, 45, 345. So we started out with 300, we made $45. Is that a world beater? No, it's not. But you know what? It bought you some time. It got you a little bit of profit back. And again, you know, hopefully you get a little comp rating for being at the table a little bit longer. We've got a little time. We'll go ahead and do one more shooter at least. Let me get my 60 set up here. There's 3, 3, 3, and 3. All right, so we'll go on for shooter number 6. Don't pass. And then we can put 3 more bullets in our rack. And we are ready. So let's get us a new set of dice. Maybe we'll see one of the losing scenarios, but hopefully not. All right, dice are out, looking for a point. And it is a 12. All right, so 12 is a push. We don't win or lose. We move on to the next roll. Same shooter, next roll. 6, 3, 9. 9 will be our point. All right, we move one up to the come for a come bet. 5, 2, 7. Okay, so that is a 7 out, 0.7 out. But it's a good scenario for us. All right, we win right there on the come, and we win on the don't pass. So we've got 6 units for that shooter. All right, let's go ahead and just leave that there. We'll go on to shooter number 7. We'll just set these over here. Oh, throwing dice, which is what we're supposed to do, but not when you're not expecting it. There is hard 8. I'll take that. Coming out, looking for a point. 5, 1, 6. All right, 6 will be our point. And then we'll move on to the come bet. And a 5, 1, 6. Okay, that is not good. Point goes off, or puck goes off. That travels behind. We did hit the point, so we lose our don't pass. But we're still playing with what we got left, so we'll move that one up. Puck is off, so we can move that up to the don't pass. And we have a 6, 2, 8. Man, we're getting the worst possible points that you can get for this system. All right, so we have our DC, we have our don't pass. Well, let's go ahead and get a comeback going with that last stack. And a 4, 2, 6. All right, so that's not bad at all. That'll travel here, that'll travel down. No, I'm sorry, that is wrong. That'll travel here, we'll lose that, because that was a DC, that was a don't come. So now we are down to 2 units, and we just have to roll this one out. All right, we have a hard 4. That's not going to do us any good. I'll try to speed roll here, see if we can find something. There is a 6, 2, 7. All right, so that is, puck goes off. We lose that. We went down there, so we lost 2 units on that one. All right, we got time. Yeah, we're at 20 minutes. We'll go one more. This will be what, shooter number 7, I think? Excuse me. All right, so we have 1 and then our 3 units. All right, new set of dice, just to make it real, man. All right, 5, 3, 8. Let's see what we get. All right, there's 3, 2, 5. 5 will be our point. Travel 1 to the come. And a 4, 2, 6. Okay, that's a good place for that to go. Let's get another one set up there in the come. And a 6, 1, 7. Okay, so that is not horrible. We do lose the 6. Puck goes off. That's going to be the end of that shooter. We win there, and we win on the don't pass. So we are +1 for that shooter. We'll just set that over there, and we'll go on for shooter number 8. Still got a little time. Whoa, let's go ahead and get a new set of dice. I know. Could have just used the same ones, but hopefully I covered that number up. I didn't see what the number was. I don't know if the camera will catch it, but coming out, dice are out. And we have a 12 midnight box cars. That is a push. Bar 12, so that's a push. That's what that means. You don't win or lose. And we have a 1, 3, 4. 4 will be the point. This will travel up to the com. Dice out. We have a 6, 3, 9. That'll move to the 9. Next one up to the com. And a 4, 1, 5. All right, so that'll move there. And then now we go to the don't com. What I was saying about hedging earlier, which I'm not going to do, but if you wanted, since you lose on the 7 and 11 here, you could place $1 over here on your yo. And if you were to hit an 11, you know, you'd lose that, but you'd win 15 back down there. So it'd be a wash. All right, dice out. And there it is. Speak about it and it happens. Okay, so we lost that. We didn't place our hedge, but that's the way that it goes. All right, so now we're just left with that. So we have to roll it out. And we're hoping for a 5 or a 9. That'd be the best possible scenario. There is a hard 8. There is a hard 10. Maybe playing the hard ways. There is a 4, 2, 6, 2 by 4, 6, 5 yo, and a 4, 2 or 5, 2, 7 out. Lose there, win there, down 2 units for that shooter. All right, so where are we at? 22 minutes. Yeah, we can end it there. Hopefully you get the kind of the gist of the situation. But just to get a count real quick. This is fairly easy. This is 100, 200, 300, 15, and 30. So 330. We made $30. Yes, we were up to 45 earlier, but we continued on and did 8 shooters instead of the 5 that I started out with. But just wanted to show you guys a few different scenarios, how things can happen. Yes, you can lose on a shooter. Yes, you can win on a shooter. Are you going to win big? No, not necessarily. You can see 8 shooters, we're up $30. But you know what? We're up. We bought time. Eventually, you know, if you play out for an hour or whatever or so, you know, however long you're going to be at the table, you might get this back up to 500 or 600, and then, you know, get you a different set of chips, get you some greens, and then start playing your inside strategies or whatever you wanted to do. So that was it. That is Crappy the Crapsman. There is his banner once again. His cold table strategy, there's several of them on his channel. He has a cold table strategy on steroids, a cold 49 or a 49 cold, something like that. Anyway, go check out his channel. A lot of good strategies. Does play some dark side, does play some light side strategies. He plays some towering strategies where he just piles everything on one number, you know, and you get a stack of chips, stuff like that. Of course, they wouldn't do that at the casino, but he does. He likes to stack up all the chips as he goes and wins. Entertaining, educational, very good channel. Check it out. If you want, please leave a comment down below. If you saw something, maybe I made a mistake, which I do occasionally, point it out. Let me know. I'll try to correct it. If you have any suggestions for strategies, please also put that down in the comments below. If you'd rather email, here is our email, crapstx@gmail.com. My name is Keith. Before you head out, hit that thumbs up for us. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when another video comes out. This channel is CrapsTX. Again, I said my name is Keith already, but hey, just in case you didn't hear me, my name is Keith. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.